Hello everybody and good morning. Welcome to the Top Producer Show, or good afternoon. We had an appointment that ran a little over, so we are here regardless, just a little later. But our mission is to educate, equip, and train servant leaders. Our vision is to create financially independent achievers, and our purpose is to help people grow. And right now we're going over the book by Grant Cardone. If you're not first, you're last. And today we're on chapter 5, Converting the Unsold. So before we jump into that, we're gonna go ahead and invite some people onto here. I know this is like the longest part of this,
but necessary.
Because
otherwise Facebook won't push it out.
Yep, that, and we have a ton of people who are always asking for reminders. So we want to make sure that we get this out to everybody that we need to.
Set up a text message blast too. Yeah, put on here, text message us.
Yeah, if you would
Instant message us, meaning don't put your phone number on Facebook.
Yeah, don't put your number on Facebook. But if you message me or Jeff, that you would, computer shut off. If you would like to message me or Jeff, just saying like, hey, I want to get the reminders for this, we can do that. Because we can set something up where we could just send a text message reminder to all of you guys. Or a Facebook message to either one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And there we go. Hello, Jane. Who else is here? Catherine is here.
Hello, hello.
Alrighty.
Let's get going.
Yep, pulling up the notes. Alright. So, a study by Thomas, a publishing company, reveals that most salespeople, regardless of the industry, give up too early. So, according to the study, 80% of sales to businesses are made on the fourth sales call, but only 10% of salespeople called them more than 3 times.
Dave Robinson, what's up?
Hello, hello. So the new business you need is sitting safely away in your files. Since you've already invested time and energy, you keep following up and chipping away until you find the gold mine. So in this chapter, he goes going over that previous list of people that you presented to and talked to, and even previous clients. So even if you didn't get the sale from somebody before, this is where a lot of follow-up comes in. We actually don't do a whole lot of follow-up, but we do if the person said, I'm ready to get started, and they just haven't signed up yet. So the best way to do this is to go through your database and look back at the people you have already contacted. Now, I don't like to harass friends and family. And like I said, if this is a person who you've already presented to and they're like, I'm ready to get started, but haven't pulled the trigger yet, what we do is we start shopping the application. Once we get somebody who wants to sign up and they actually go through, and we get the email saying, hey, you have a new associate or a new salesperson working with you, then we go back through all the people who said they're ready to get started but haven't started yet, and we say, hey, if you get started right now, we're going to give you until this date to put in your application, and this person can be on your team. And also, I have this many people that I'm also contacting today who also said they wanted to get started with us. And if you get in before them, you may also have all these other people on your team as well. And what that does is it creates a fear of loss, and then they have something to gain. And if they don't sign up, they're going to be losing something. So, okay.
Which actually is what we did just recently, and that's how we put 3 people underneath, well, I guess Dave Robinson and Jane, because you guys are both on the team. both on their team just within the last 48 hours. Andrea signed up. I went back to the list and said, hey, you know, several of you have had interest before. What do you want to do? Sean signed up right away. He's like, oh, dude, he needed the membership that we offer through our company anyway. So he's like, I need this anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I said, great. You'll have this person on your team. And then I went way back and found that there was another guy who said he was basically ready to go as well. He's like, look, I got to solve this, I got to solve that. And I had forgotten to contact him back. So in 48 hours, we were able to sign up 3 people. We grabbed one application, went back to our original people that we talked to. And I always do that, you know, in the order in which, and that's the only follow-up the only follow-up I'll ever do, unless somebody stands out. Jane, who was here, stood out right away. Just because, you know, she wrote me back and said, look, this is kind of my situation. This is who I am, where I'm at. You know, what do you got? And then we got on the phone and talked, and I was just like, this is a person. You know, every once in a while, I mean, if you recruit for a living, you will eventually learn, you know, certain people that you're like, this person I want to connect with. This person, you know, I'd like to work with. You know, personality's there, work ethic's there, background's there. That's the kind of people that you want to bring onto the team. So that's how it worked out. She came on board, and now, you know, within the first week, I think she has 3 people so far, you know, down that organization. And we're following up with a guy who called me after this show because, you know, we're just out there doing the work every day. And when you do the work every day, there are people who watch. And we had a millionaire from the industry call us and say, hey, you know, I might have some interest in this. And, you know, we've had a couple conversations, and now it's just a process. Like, I'm not going to chase him down. Although I'd love to have him on the team. I'm not going to chase him down. It's up to him. You know, we leave it in his court. So that's what's up. What's next?
All right. So a successful Los Angeles business man named Kevin Call told Grant the difference between a contact and a contract is the relationship. So if you don't continue a contact, you will never create a relationship necessary to turn that contact into a contract. So keeping enough once you start talking to enough people, you're eventually going to figure out who is a good person to go back and follow up with. Because there's some people where after I get off of the phone with them and I'm like, you know what? We're just going to run through the process, see if they go through, because every once in a while, somebody surprises me. And I'm like, oh, I thought this person would be the person who's going to get started, but actually it was this other person. So sometimes there are those people where they end up being the ones who follow through and not the other people. But on the rare occasion, I will go back and follow up with one other person. I'm like, you know what? This person I do need to follow up with, just because of the conversation, what they were planning to go. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Where they were planning on going, what they wanted to do, and I was just like, this is somebody I need to follow up with. Because sometimes people, you catch people at a wrong time, like grandma, kid, cat, somebody got sick, and life happens, and sometimes you do need to follow up with people, but then there is that list of people where I'm like, I don't need to follow up with this person. So having that list, but we really only go back to the people who said they wanted to get started, because we do have an unlimited amount of leads that we can go through. So we spend more time going through those than we do going back to people, and with what we're doing, it doesn't make sense to go back all the time unless they've already ran through the process and they know what we're doing. And the people who are interested, they contact us. So if we talk to them and they just don't get back to us and don't really follow through with a whole lot, then eventually when they are ready, and if they are still interested, they will contact us. I think the longest time frame that somebody actually got back to me was over a year later. And funny enough, this happened on our team. Somebody contacted me over some advertising that we put out, and I never heard from them again. And we were at our last event last month, and one of our team members, Tom, brought somebody out, and he's a new recruit. I think it was Saul. Yeah, it was Saul. So Saul came out to the next big event, and we exchanged numbers. And when I entered his phone number into my phone and I was going to text him something, I looked and I'm like, Saul, you texted me in 2018. I've actually already talked to him And it just wasn't the right time at that time, but he replied to another one of our advertising that happened to be Tom's, and he got back to us and then eventually ended up signing up. So it's funny how that all worked out. And then I called Tom afterwards because he already had to head home because we had a snowstorm coming in. But he headed home and I texted him, I'm like, you stole my person. And he's like, oh my God, that's funny. I wasn't actually mad, but it was funny regardless. I'm just like, you stole my person, Tom. Shame on you. So the lessons to be learned. Number 1, commit to follow up. Only follow up with the people who are absolutely necessary. I keep little notes on each person of how the conversation went, or I have a little bit of something like that in my phone or in my notes, because some people you don't need to follow up with, but the ones that you do are important if you do it. But only depending on what you do, also with what we're doing, it doesn't make sense to go back to every person, just the people who have already gone through the process, but keeping that list. Number 2, your interest in your clients is more important than their interest in you. And this just goes into Jeff has an agent profile. When you first sit down with the person, or not first sit down, but once they're signed up, you want to go through this process where you ask them questions, get to know who they are, what motivates them, and what you could do for them, because it's not a contest to make yourself look like the coolest person in the world. You need to be interested in them and ask them more questions. Number 3, state up front that you will continue to follow up until you get a result. So he lets people know up front, like, hey, if you don't get back to me, I'm just going to keep calling. So you may as well just answer the phone and talk to me, because I'm going to keep calling you regardless. You don't need to be that aggressive, because if you come at a lead or a family member that way, it might be a little
but we do
much.
I mean, we do that, because I changed my my message to leads, and these are leads that ask for home-based business opportunity, and my message to them is, hey, this is Jeff Gamble. I'm reaching out because my office passed me your information and said that you are looking for something part-time to do from home. Are you still looking? Yes, I'll send you the information. It says yes, and then dash, I will send you the information. No, take me off the list. So I'm getting them to respond back. I mean, that increased like 35% response rate by asking yes or no. And you can do that. I had a friend that did that with friends and family. They're like, hey, I wanted to invite you, this Thursday to this event. I just need to know if you could make it at 8 o'clock, yes or no. So she asked them yes or no through direct message. She would also leave voicemails doing that. And it was powerful, because here's the thing, and I'm going to say this as kindly as possible. Most people who get involved in sales and direct sales and network marketing are too fucking nice. They're too nice. You're like so concerned about, oh my gosh, I might upset somebody. They might not like me. Here's the thing. They're not paying your fucking bills. They're not paying your bills. They're not coming over to your house to clean your house. They're not, typically, I'm talking about friends and acquaintances and even family, sometimes family is even worse than friends. But my point is, I'm not asking for blood. I'm not asking for a lung or a kidney. I'm asking you to look at information so that way if you run into the right person, you can refer them to me. So you can kind of ask people, hey, take a look at this, yes or no. And you kind of have to build up to the point where you know what you're doing when you get to the point where you do that. When you get to the point, watch this, when you get to the point where you do that and you don't care one way or another if they get in because you've got a program that's going to bring people in anyway, it's funny when you stop caring that they start joining. It's the weirdest thing. But it works the same kind of thing in dating. People are like, oh my God, I like him so much. I just call him every day and I text him every day. And I was like, and you sound like you're crazy. You sound like a stalker, guy or girl. Doesn't matter what the situation is. When you're coming after somebody with that intensity, you look insane. And it's funny that people end up interested. Travis, how are you? It's funny that you end up, attracting more people when you're like almost ignoring them, right? You're like, why doesn't this person like me? Why doesn't this person talk to me? Well, I should reach out to them. And that's when it works. Mm-hmm. So the same thing is true. Like dating and recruiting have some things in common. Some things. let me get that. Not all of them.
not all of them. Thank you for brushing up on that, because that was what I was trying to explain. You want to be aggressive about getting the information in front of people, but you don't want to come across as somebody who's crazy.
Yeah, we don't. I'll be aggressive to get the information to them, but I'm not aggressive to close them right then. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, you have to take a look at this, and then it's up to you. You know, if you get in, you get in. If you don't, you don't. We make, over 6 figures anyway doing what we're doing. This is just extra. We're going to build an additional 6-figure income outside of what we're doing, and we're going to do it part-time. And we're going to do it online in front of everybody, just to, punch some people in the face, because some people need that, that I've talked to in the past. People like, you don't seem like you're, an angry person that will get back at people. You're right. I can put it online, and I'll piss them off even more. So, what else?
The best revenge is success. But anyway,
massive success. Back
to the lessons that need to be learned. Number 4, be creative in the ways that you follow up. Depending on who it is, like we have a couple of people where we've created a relationship who are traditional business owners, and what we do is a lot of times, like we have a really good relationship with this med spa down the street. And what we did at 1 year is when everything was, or right at the beginning of this last year, when all this coronavirus stuff first started, we picked up flowers and chocolates for all the girls that worked at the spa that day. And we just wanted to pop in and check in and see how everybody was doing. And it wasn't to sell anything. It was just popping in to say, hi, how are you guys doing? Is there anything that you guys need help with? And they thought that was the coolest thing ever. They were like, oh my God, thank you. So it's just doing little things like that to keep in contact with people, because sometimes, like, if you're out and about and sometimes you run into people and you're like, you know what, this person would be a great person who would do well in this, but you need to build that relationship first. So this is a good way. So following up isn't always with leads, but it can be with people that you're meeting every day, because sometimes you got to create that relationship first before you try to sell them. Number 5, always, always, always leave a message on the voicemail. If you're calling somebody, leave a message why you're calling. A lot of people like to text now, and most people do not like to answer the phone. So the only thing that I would change with that is most people text. Just go ahead and text them. Because like even my mom now, she won't even answer the phone. And she just got a smartphone like 3 years ago. This woman had a flip phone before this, so every time somebody called her, she used to answer. Now if I call her, she's like, what do you want? And she'll text me that, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, I'm your daughter. Pick up the damn phone. She doesn't do it. But most people are like that now, so just send them a text message and let them know why you're messaging them. Number 6, never quit. Be unreasonable in your follow-up, and you will gain the market share regardless of the economy. So with all the people who have run through the process, we're very aggressive with going back and sending them, because what ends up happening when they keep seeing this person is signing up, do you want to get a spot right now? If I'm going through all these people, if you get in now, you'll have all these people. If you keep following up with those people and they keep seeing that more and more people are getting in, what they start seeing is, because most comp plans, you build straight down and then you're able to place people underneath. When they start to see that they could have been here, but then this line keeps going like this, and then they're going to have to get started right here and it keeps going, they start to get a little nervous. Then it becomes, I'm missing out on something. These people must really be doing something. I need to get in before I'm so far behind I'm not going to be able to catch up. So that's why you want to be very aggressive with those people, and you keep that list of the people that you need to keep following up with. And sometimes it takes like 6 months to a year for people to come through and do something, because it's either a family situation, they're going through something, or it's just not the right time for them. But if they see it enough, eventually they're going to be like, okay, I think I need to get started now. Like, I keep seeing you guys messaging me this over and over again. I need to get started because I keep missing out. So that's what you want to do. So with that, that is what this chapter is about today. A lot of short chapters right now, which is kind of nice after going through Robert Kiyosaki's books, because those chapters were long. I think one of those chapters we had to split into 4 different videos because it was so long, but great information. But these are shorter chapters, but very good information as well. So with that, that is what we got for today. Do you have any comments you want to add before we close out?
Nope, it's Friday, never-ending Friday, as Jim Bailey always says, never-ending Friday, because it seems like you're trying to get everything done before the weekend. So we're just contacting people. I have a couple people I woke up to said, send me the video. I just had another guy send me, I'm ready to get started, what do I do next? I get 1 to 5 people like that a day. I'm ready to get started, what do I do next? We developed this process that is, I mean, it's crazy. I was able to take a month, and I was able to qualify. We were able to qualify in like 10 days for our, some of the bonus levels and things like that. We were able to hit this one high-end club inside of our company. So that's whatever, problems, whatever. I found a way to do this when I'm in the car, when I'm in the restaurant, and it takes about an hour to do a day. It's awesome. So what else?
That is it. And if you guys want us to start a text message reminder or Facebook reminder that's in messages, we can do that. So you want to message me or Jeff, actually message me. Message me and let me know that you want those reminders, so that way I can set that up where you're just in the reminder block, so that way I don't have to go through and select all these, because it will save time, and that way you still get your reminders. So with that, that is what we have for you guys today. If you haven't yet, you want to go to the Top Producer Show Facebook group, page and join that page. Also go follow us on YouTube, because each one of these videos will be uploaded to there, so that way you could go back and rewatch it. Also, at some point, we are going to be going over some of the seminars that we're going to be going to. The next seminar we're going to is the 10X seminar. So if you guys would like to know the takeaways that we got out of that event, and actually we might be getting a group of people together, because this event is going to be online. So if you are in Indianapolis and you would like to join us, we might be getting a group together to watch it. But if you are not able to join us and you need to stay home, we're going to be going over that as well. So with that, that's what we have for you guys today. And we will see you guys on Monday.